Good evening. I have been beyond the wall. As the shield that guards the realms of men, the watcher on the wall, I have pledged my life and honor to the Night's Watch. That is why I can confidently tell you that something is brewing. I am here to tell you that Marshall Hill School's 21-22 back to school night is coming. Stay safe. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Marshall Hill School's back to school night. Patrick O'Donnell, your principal. If I'm a little out of breath, I apologize. I just had to escort some guy out of the school. He was dressed all in black. He was donning a cloak, clenching a sword, and he kept calling it Long Claw. Said that Ghost was waiting for him out there. Kind of weird. Kept saying I'm the watcher on the wall. You know, I'm the shield that guards the realm of men. So I apologize for that little security breach there. I can assure you normally we are much safer than that. Anyway, here we are, ready to start our back to school night. I hope you enjoy the show.
Hello there. Hello there. How are you? How are you? It's so good. It's so good to see you. To see you. We'll sing and we'll sing and be happy. Be happy that we're all here together again.
Hello there and good evening, Marshall Hill parents and guardians. Welcome to the 21-22 back to school night. My name is Patrick O'Donnell, proud principal of Marshall Hill, and I want to thank you all for being with us this evening. I know it's weird you're seeing this video, but you're in person, so it's kind of like a little hybrid of the old back to school night and what we had last year. But I am thankful at least that you are able to be in the building, you're able to be in your child's classroom, and be back in the school. And, even if you're listening to this video now, I think that's a huge win that, we're in here for a in-person back to school night, and I'm very excited for that. So I want to start off by just thanking everybody from the bottom of my heart. Kind of reflecting on my time here. It's only been 2 years, and it feels longer, and that's not a bad thing. It's just a lot has happened in those 2 years. I've certainly added some grays, added a third child to my roster at home. So lots of personal changes, certainly. But when I look back and I think this school, what we've been through together, we've gotten through a pandemic together, and we're continuing to move along and push along. And I couldn't be more thankful for your support over the past couple of years. Thankful, and I'm very blessed to work with a great teaching staff and a great support staff, which makes my job much easier. But I want to, thank everybody. A school is only as strong as that partnership between home and school. And I think we have a very, very, very strong partnership between home and school. So I want to thank you all for all of your contributions to this collective effort. Thank you for sharing your children with us on a daily basis. It's an honor and a privilege. All right. So here we are. Before we get too far, though, I do want to give a special shout out to my secretary, Mrs. Tenhove, my custodians, Mr. Corder, Mr. Struble, and Mr. McCary. A lot of work goes in over the summer to get the school ready behind the scenes, and they don't always get the credit, that they deserve. There's lots of room changes, new furniture coming in, furniture going out, and the custodians really had a lot on their plate this summer. I also, want to thank my secretary, Mrs. Tenhove, for all of that behind the scenes office work, taking registrations and putting purchase orders in over the summer. It's a lot. So I want to thank her for her efforts as well. All right, now I want to introduce to you the Marshall Hill Dream Team. I do believe is the greatest team of teachers and staff in the district. So we have, as I mentioned before, our secretary, Mrs. Tenhove, our building aide, Mrs. Romer, our custodial staff, Mr. Corder, Mr. Struble, Mr. McCary, Our kindergarten teachers, Mrs. Berg, Mrs. Rowland, and Miss McGinnis. Miss McGinnis, you'll notice an asterisk by her name. She's sort of a new face to Marshall Hill, but not really a new face because she went to school here herself. And she was also our intervention specialist for a little bit of time 2 years ago. So when this position was available, she stood out, and she is here now, and I couldn't be more thankful for that. She's a great addition to the staff. We also have Mrs. Varian, Miss Cangelosi as our first grade team, Mrs. Lair and Ms. Rhinesmith as our second grade team, Mrs. Guarino and Mrs. Whitman as our third grader teachers. For our fourth grade team, we have Mrs. Bagley and Mrs. Seska, and our fifth grade teachers are Mrs. Adragna and Mrs. Gennardi Fisher. Our special ed team consists of Miss Brannigan, Mr. O'Meara, Mrs. Kurz, Miss McCourt, and Mrs. McKean. You'll notice an asterisk by Mrs. McKean's name as well. She is a new teacher to West Milford, lives in West Milford, but she is new to our district as far as being an employee, and very excited for her to be here. I think she's going to be a wonderful addition to the staff. We have encore teachers, Mrs. Mulligan, Mrs. Kelly, and Mr. Pollard. You'll notice an asterisk by Mrs. Kelly's name. Mrs. Kelly is not new to West Milford, but she is new to Marshall Hill, and this is her first year here as our encore teacher. And she'll be primarily working with some students in grades 2 and students in grades 3 to 5. We also have our therapists, Mrs. Scales, speech and language, Mrs. Perez, speech and language. We have our OTs, Ms. Teresco and Mrs. Montanti, and our physical therapist, Mr. Gartner. We also have our school nurse, Mrs. Joanna Riley, who did quite a bit of work for us last year, and I want to give her a special shout out as well for her efforts last year and continuing this year. All right, we also have our specialist teachers, Mrs. Pyrus, our art teacher, Mrs. Maddie, music, Mrs. Ranieri, library, and Mrs. Cullen and Mrs. O'Brien are our PE teachers. Our school social workers, Mrs. DeBerry, our CST, Mrs. Bassor, Mrs. Messinio, Mrs. Kelly, our behaviorists. They work closely with our staff. And we have our wonderful paraprofessionals, Mrs. Arata, Mrs. Song, Mrs. Torp, Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Smith-Seidner, Mrs. Kunish, Mrs. Shorter, Mrs. Paulison, Mrs. Bailey, and Mrs. Vals. And last but not least, our wonderful cafeteria staff, Mrs. Eck and Ms. Sporinkin in the kitchen, Mrs. Fataruso, Mrs. Spatassini, Mrs. Sarkissian, Mrs. Dowson, and Mrs. Podmockley, our recess aides. I agree, Shia LaBeouf. I agree, man. We have some great staff. Round of applause for the Marshall Hill staff. All right. Just real quick curriculum professional development highlights for the 21-22 school year. All elementary schools will be moving to Knowing Science. It's a program for our science instruction for this year. It's a program that looks to give students the opportunity to explore science, get hands-on with it. We are sending our teachers in grades 3 and 4 to Conquer Math professional development. So this is professional development that's going to focus on, best practices in math instruction and continued grade level collaboration between schools. Communication and contacts, you'll see there for social media. We do have, Instagram and Facebook. I usually push out to the Instagram and that pushes out to Facebook. I have my own Twitter account as well. It's something that, it's my own personal account. However, it's the account that highlights a lot of the things that happen at the school every day. Let's see here. School Messenger. This is an important one. So School Messenger, it is replacing Honeywell. It has replaced Honeywell. Please keep an eye out the end of September for a notification from the district with the opportunity for you to click on a link to opt in for text messages. So if that's not set up, it's going to be a real easy thing. You just click on the link and that will automatically opt you in for text messages. But if you've been receiving any of my emails, then you are already signed up for School Messenger. All right, the Marshall Hill PTA. I'll let Mrs. Metzger speak about the PTA as well, but I definitely encourage you to join all the wonderful things that they do, as you'll see this school year. And just some upcoming important dates. We have September 21st, Pinwheels for Peace and our Sky Kings Assembly. Excited for that. September 28th, School Pictures. September 30th, the first of 3 district-wide strategic planning meetings. And then October 11th, we have Early Dismissal Professional Development Day. Really look forward to working with you guys this year. Looking forward to another amazing year at Marshall Hill. and I hope you all have a wonderful night. Thank you.
We're soaring into a new year at Marshall Hill School. Hi, my name is Carrie Metzger and I'm president of the PTA. We do great things for our school. If you haven't sent your forms back, stop by the table and join the PTA. Whether you can donate a little bit of time or a lot of time, we'll take it. We're open to great new ideas and updating our old ideas. Come on, people, join us. The things you do for your kids.
All right, so hello Marshall Hill family. So one of the best things about Marshall Hill School is the active PTA involvement that we have. So I definitely encourage you guys, if you have not done so already, to join the PTA because they help support the school with so many great additions to our school. Like what you see here, this beautiful outdoor area now with the fence, with the tables. This is going to be a great spot for our kids to eat outside, to read, play checkers, chess, something for them to do. And it's also a safer area than it was before too, and it's much more aesthetically pleasing. So huge thank you to the PTA. All right, so another addition to Marshall Hill School this year, the outside area, are the beautiful basketball backboards that we got replaced. You remember the old ones? Needless to say, they were in need of some serious replacement, and the PTA got us these ones, and it allows our students to come out here and show off their skills. Show off their skills. Show off their skills. Show off their skills. Show off their skills.